Welcome back, everyone, to my second slow English podcast. Today, I have more interesting personal stories for you guys. I want you to practice shadowing me throughout this whole video. This will help practice your pronunciation, your accent, your rhythm, and your confidence when speaking English. I also recommend listening to this podcast while you do chores or run errands. You can also play this slow English podcast at night before you go to sleep. I won't put any sound effects or anything that can wake you up. It will just be me speaking slowly, clearly, and calmly in English. These were warm and mushy. We never had the opportunity to go and watch it. And at the top, there is a heart. What do you do when you enter a building? Let's get started. As you guys know, I was just in South Korea, but now I'm in Thailand. I have done a lot of things in Thailand, so let's talk about it. So as you guys can see here, I have all my luggage on me. This is when we just arrived in Bangkok. My backpack has this strap that allows me to put it onto my suitcase in between the handle. So I don't have to carry it on my back. That's why you see my backpack on my small suitcase here. And you can see this moving walkway is kind of weird because it's not flat. It's not flat. It kind of curves downwards, kind of like almost an S, the shape. And when I saw this and went on it, I was thinking to myself, what if you're in a wheelchair and you go on this and then you just start rolling? Because it might not look very steep in the video, but trust me, it was quite steep, because when I went on there with my bags started to roll like with a lot of force forward. So I had to go and stand in front of my bags just to be sure they wouldn't roll away. So I had to stand in front of my bags. So my bags rolled into me, which is better than rolling into the person in front of me, which was my brother. So I'm not sure who designed this, and I would like to see if there have been any accidents on this moving walkway, because I find it's not really the best idea, in my opinion. I think if you have a lot of heavy suitcases and you're using one of those carts, those suitcase carts to carry your suitcases, it's best to use an elevator, because at least with an elevator, you know it's not going to go rolling into someone at high speeds, which can really hurt someone. So that can be very dangerous. And remember to watch the video until the end to get the homework. This homework will really help you practice your speaking and also track your progress. Once we checked into our hotel, we went to the 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven is one of the most popular convenience store chains in the world. So we stopped at this 7-Eleven, but all we got was just some drinks. We just got some drinks. I believe we got water and maybe a soda as well, because we were very thirsty. And also, I would like to mention, we went from Seoul, South Korea, where it was cold. It was in the negatives. So it was cold. We had a bunch of winter jackets on. We had base layers on, jackets, coats, hoodies, outer shells, to Bangkok, Thailand, where I believe here it was around plus 30 degrees Celsius. So it was very warm when we got here. So I had to change into shorts. Did I change into shorts? No, but you can see here Leon changed into shorts because I imagine he was probably very hot, same as I was. So, and this is also an interesting question. Do you prefer warm weather or cold weather? Warm weather or cold weather? And to answer this question, I want you guys to write it in the comments. What do you prefer? Warm weather or cold weather? And then tell me, where do you live? Do you live somewhere that has cold weather, or is it just warm all year round? Me personally, I prefer warm weather just because it's more comfortable. When it's cold, I have to put on so many layers just to stay warm. And even then, it's cold. And the thing about that is that even if you put on so many layers of clothes and then you finally get warm, what do you do when you enter a building? You have to take off all your clothes and then you just have to carry that around. So it's very inconvenient, in my opinion, to live somewhere that's cold. That's my experience living in Canada. That's one of the reasons I prefer warmer weather. Another reason is just I like to be warm. I don't like to be cold. Simple as that. I would rather sweat and be warm outside than be freezing cold outside. That's just my opinion. We ended up eating dinner at a restaurant very close to our hotel. I believe it was Pig's Feet or something similar to this, but it was very good. I really enjoyed that meal. It was like very like sweet. I like sweet foods. For my first meal in Thailand, it was very good. So our second day in Thailand, I went to a mall. I believe it was called Emporium or something like that. Emporium. It's a very popular mall. So if you've been to Thailand or you're from Thailand, you know which mall I'm talking about. And yeah, I found it pretty cool and interesting that despite the super warm weather, they still had a Christmas tree, and they even made it look like there was snow on the Christmas tree, which I found interesting. And then they also had ornaments on the Christmas tree. Like I can see some butterflies there and dragonflies. And at the top, there is a heart, a red heart. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I took a video of it. And believe it or not, I have never ridden on the back of a motorcycle. I have ridden a motorcycle as the driver, but I've never ridden on the back of a motorcycle as the passenger. This was my first time. It was, a little bit sketchy. So I had both hands at the back here, but obviously when I was taking this video, I had only one hand on the back. The other one was filming. And yeah, you could see Leon there on his scooter. And when I was holding out my phone to record and film, I was afraid I was going to drop my phone because my phone is kind of big. So it's kind of hard to get a good grip on it. So I really had to hold it tight, but I actually bought something today to help with that. Let me show you guys. The most important part of learning a language and the reason why everyone learns a language is to be able to speak the language. These videos help you with your listening, but how can you practice your speaking even more? You need to practice by shadowing. Shadowing is just repeating after a native English speaker to practice your pronunciation, your accent, and your confidence. And I've started making videos specifically just to practice those three things. So if you guys want to become more confident in English and become truly fluent, check out my Patreon in the description where I give you guys 3 new videos every week to practice your pronunciation, your accent, and most importantly, your confidence. I'll see you guys there. We are going to be learning English as I clean up my pronunciation, your accent, your rhythm, and your confidence. It was just a roundabout way of her politely trying to spare my feelings. The a-hole for giving all of my coworkers a different reason for why I have missing fingers, so I wouldn't take legal action. Down to he company-wide training on his behavior. He chooses not, but I was already so cranky. Okay, so we're in, I did so much shopping in Mushima. The jeans and one hoodie, So this morning I went to Chatuchak Market and I bought this. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but this is a wrist strap, so I can put it on my wrist like this. And then this part right here just looks like a clear piece of plastic. But this you actually put inside your phone case behind here. And this part comes through the charging port here. So you put this inside your phone case and then it acts as like a hand grip. So even if you drop your phone, it'll still be on. So now I can record myself on the scooters without having to worry about dropping my phone. Let's just hope this thin piece of plastic holds. If not, then that sucks. But actually, I really do like riding on the back of scooters. First of all, it's a lot cheaper than getting a taxi. And second of all, it's just like a vibe. Like you're just outside, like the wind is blowing on your face, your hair is like moving, and you're just cruising through the streets. You don't have to worry about driving because the driver is driving, so you could just look around, enjoy everything, the sounds of the city. It's warm outside, but the cool air is hitting you. So if you ever go to Thailand, I definitely recommend that experience. It might be a little bit sketchy, but you just have to put your hands on the back there. There are hand grips. And then for lunch, we decided to stop at this restaurant that was selling chicken. So it was just like completely white chicken over white rice, but the chicken just has so much flavor. And they also gave us this like spicy red sauce that we put over top of our chicken, and it was amazing. Truly, it was really good. I ate all of that in like 2 seconds. Yeah, here you can see our plate. It is very like white. It doesn't look like there is a lot of flavor, but that sauce in that small little bowl on the side has a lot of flavor, and it's spicy, but I like the spice. And then they also gave us a few cucumbers on the side. After that, we just headed back to our hotel and rested until the nighttime. And as you can see here, we went out to a market to have dinner. So here they had skewers. I believe they had beef skewers, pork skewers, chicken skewers, fish balls as well. I just went with the chicken and beef skewers. And I kind of messed up here, let me tell you. Right here in this moment, you can see she's putting a sauce in the bag with my skewers. And she asked me, she's like, do you want sauce? She said, very, very, very spicy. And I'm like, okay, little bit. As you can see from the video, it looks like she put a little bit, but this was the spiciest thing I've eaten so far in Thailand. And I've been here for about 10 days now, but this was so spicy. And I think the skewers were already spicy, but then with this sauce on top of it, it was almost unbearable. I almost could not eat it, but I paid for it already, so I had to eat it. But man, my eyes were watering, my nose was running. I was using like so many napkins to blow my nose. It was bad, but they were good. And luckily we got this curry soup that wasn't as spicy, so I was eating my skewers with the curry soup. So it kind of like mellowed it out, so it wasn't as potent. And that's all we did for our third day in Thailand. So the next day was December 31st. So that was New Year's Eve. And as you can see here, this right here is New Year's Eve at the Icon CM. Yeah, this mall is called Icon CM. They were having a New Year's Eve celebration at this mall, and they also had fireworks at midnight. But you can just see the amount of people in this mall. It was absolutely insane. It was so busy, so crowded. Just to get to this mall was insane. We had to get off at a subway stop, and then we decided to walk across the bridge so we can see a view of the river. And it was crazy busy. That bridge was packed, so it was very hard to walk across the bridge because the path was very narrow, right? There was a lot of congestion, but eventually we got through and we made it to Icon CM. But when I tell you the amount of people here, it was crazy. It was crazy. And this was pretty far from where we were staying. So we actually decided not to watch the fireworks from there. And instead we went to Central World, which is another huge, huge mall that also had a fireworks show. And you can see in this video, the road has been blocked off and it is just filled with people. There are probably thousands, probably millions of people out in the street. It was insane. And personally, I don't really like being in a big city during holidays like this, like Halloween, Christmas, New Year's, like these really popular holidays where people usually go out, because it's just so crowded and so busy. It's kind of hard to enjoy the night or the day with the amount of people there are. So I would prefer to just stay inside, but I wanted to show you guys what New Year's Eve was like in Bangkok. So we went out for like 8 hours, and here you could just see the beautiful fireworks. It was a really nice fireworks show. I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw a video of someone eating this like stuffed mochi, they call it, or soft mochi, but it was essentially a big piece of mochi with fruit, cream cheese, cookies, brownies, whatever you want inside. And then they wrap it up, they close the top, and then they put it in like whatever kind of topping you want. You could put it in like powder or in cornflakes or whatever you wanted. but I couldn't find it anywhere, so I ordered it online. So here you can see me eating it. It was good, but I just wish the cream cheese had more of like that like cream cheese flavor. It kind of just tasted like whipped cream, more like whipped cream than cream cheese, if you know what I mean. The next day we decided to go to a popular thrift shop. I found all the items in the thrift shop to be quite expensive because I guess they are more like higher quality items, and also they handpick every item so that it's not just a random collection of t-shirts, jeans and whatever. It's, you know, a curated collection of specific items that they want to sell. So I didn't end up buying anything here. Then we went to the biggest park or one of the biggest parks in Bangkok, Lumpini Park. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the park name correctly, but we saw these lizards, and at first I honestly thought it was a snake. And finally for dinner we had this like barbecue meal. On the top we were grilling our meat, but on the side there was a soup base, so we were able to put vegetables, noodles, and even the meat after it was cooked on the side there, and then we were eating it all. I didn't find this meal had like a lot of flavor, but it was still delicious, and I would eat it again. The only thing is the meat does take a long time to cook. So this is us again at Chatuchak Market, and you can see the amount of stalls and people at this market. It is only a weekend market. That means it's only on Saturday, Sunday, the weekend. So this is a weekend market, an outdoor market, and you can just see the amount of stalls here. There are so many vendors and stalls here. It's insane. I think to try to go through this whole market would take more than one weekend for sure. Like more than one weekend. And that's if you're spending the whole day at this market. And when I was in Bangkok 3 years ago, me and my friend went to this market and had the best pad thai ever. That was what I remembered. And I also remember it being very cheap. I think it was like 50 baht, which was a really good price. Like that was very cheap. So we went to the same spot, and I thought, you know, maybe prices increased a little bit, but the prices tripled. The prices tripled. When it's just 2 times, the prices doubled. The prices tripled. The prices quadrupled. But in this case, the prices just tripled, and it was 150 baht, which was insanely expensive in my opinion for pad thai. But I guess it's just gotten a lot more touristy, so a lot more people go there, so now they can charge those prices. And honestly, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and say it was the best pad thai I ever had again, because 3 years ago it was. 3 years ago it was the best pad thai I ever had in my life. But this time when we went, it was okay. Like it wasn't anything special. It was just like an average pad thai. And for the price, it should have been a lot more food and a lot better. The portion was pretty small. There wasn't a lot of chicken. The flavor was okay, but it really was a letdown. A letdown, which I hate to say because it was my favorite. So I definitely won't be going back there ever again. And I have had better pad thai since we went there. Recently, we went to a night market very close to where we're staying, and I got a pad thai for, I think, a chicken pad thai for 70 baht. And that one was excellent. That was an excellent pad thai for half the price. So I will definitely be getting that pad thai again. I'll try to steer clear now of Chatuchak Market and that area because it is getting more touristy. I mean, it was always touristy and busy, but now it's just gotten like the prices have just shot up. Oh, and I also tried mango sticky rice. Mango sticky rice. I think my first ever mango sticky rice, I don't know where I had it. I think it was somewhere in the south, maybe like Phuket, like that area. I had mango sticky rice there, and I remember it being very good and like very sweet. But this one was a little bit different. I think this is more of the authentic mango sticky rice because when I had it, it was salty. I asked a lady and she said that white liquid was coconut. It was coconut, but it was very salty. It was really, really salty, which kind of threw me off because I was eating the mango sticky rice and I was expecting it to be sweet, like condensed milk with mango sweet, but it was like coconut with salt. It was very salty. So me personally, not really my favorite. If it was sweeter, like condensed milk, it would be really, really good. But that salt definitely threw me off. And like for dessert, I'm not really trying to have something salty. So it wasn't really my favorite. But another dessert I tried was a cheesecake from Cum Labs. I've seen cheesecakes like these online and I've always wanted to try them because they're just like, they're so fluffy and jiggly that, like, how could I not try it, right? So this is my first time trying one and I literally just bit right into it. I know they did give me utensils, so I could have used a spoon, but when in Rome, I was feeling like I needed to bite into it. So it tasted how I expected it to taste, just like kind of like a fluffy cake because that's what it looks like. It didn't taste anything like cheesecake. It did not taste anything like cheesecake at all because, I mean, it's more like cake than it is cheesecake, if you know what I'm saying. And one thing actually that also really surprised me was the raisins on the bottom. That really surprised me because nowhere on the packaging, nowhere on their signs said that there were raisins on the bottom of the cheesecake. So one thing about me is I like raisins, but alone and like very dry. So I like eating them just like that, nothing else. However, when you cook raisins, I don't like them. I don't like raisins cooked because then they're just like warm and mushy. And I personally don't like my raisins warm and mushy. And these were warm and mushy. So I didn't really like these raisins with the cheesecake. So if I had to give this a rating from 1 to 10, I would give it like a 4. Like a 4, yeah. I would not get this again ever. I would never get this again. It really wasn't that good. I really love cheesecake. I really am not sure why they even call it cheesecake, but I guess that's a question for another time. If you guys actually know why they call this cheesecake, let me know. Oh yeah, and then at another night market, we found the like stuffed soft mochi again. And I will say this stuffed mochi was better than the last one because this one, the cream cheese filling on the inside, had more of that like cream cheese flavor. It was like a stronger flavor. It didn't really taste as much as whipped cream as the past one I had. So this one was better. Now I want to find one that's amazing. And I'm sure you guys have kind of come to the realization by now, but pad thai is one of my favorite Thai foods. And I know it's not really that adventurous. It's kind of boring, kind of like normal, but I like it and I enjoy it. Although now I'm starting to eat more and more Thai food, so that might change. But for now, pad thai is still my number one. And this was the pad thai I was talking about. This pad thai was 70 baht and it was very good. So this right now is my current favorite pad thai. And finally, to end the night, we had a cookie. The cookie I picked was a s'more cookie. So you can see there's a graham cracker on the bottom of the cookie. And then, the middle part of it was chocolate chip, a chocolate chip cookie. And on top, there were 2 melted marshmallows. So it was quite good. It wasn't that sweet, though, in my opinion. I don't think they put really much sugar at all. It wasn't sweet at all. It just tasted like a cookie, but with no sugar. It was a little bit weird, but at least the marshmallow gave it some sweetness. And we finally went to go watch Avatar. I wanted to watch it while I was in Seoul, South Korea, but we just never had the chance. We never had the opportunity to go and watch it. But here in Thailand, we did. So we went to go watch it. And it was good. Like, I really liked the Avatar series. I remember watching the first Avatar when it came out, I think when was it, 2008 or 2009, like somewhere around there. It was very, very good. The movie was just so different. The blue people looked really cool. And it was just a very well-made movie with great CGI. And this one, I found it was exactly the same, like high quality CGI. The acting was decent. The story was there. But the thing is that I don't know if it's because I'm older now or what, but I find all these movies to be quite predictable. Like, it's really easy to predict what's going to happen. When there's like a moment of tension, we're like, oh, are they going to make it? Yeah, obviously they're going to make it. They're the main character or they're like someone important. I just find all these movies so predictable. That's why I don't really watch movies anymore. It's kind of hard to make a very good, compelling, interesting, engaging story in a 2 to 3 hour time frame. It's hard to capture people's attention and like get them invested in characters and then have like a good payoff at the end. when you only have 2 to 3 hours to do that in a movie. That's why I prefer watching TV shows. I feel like TV shows, you can really immerse yourself in the universe of that TV show. So you get more attached to the characters. So when something happens, it matters more to you. And that's also why I like watching anime. I think anime stories and characters and character development are a lot better than movies. But lately, I would say in the past 2 to 3 years, I haven't really been watching any movies, any TV shows, and I really only watched anime a lot, like religiously, during 2020. So that's when the whole world was shut down. That's when I really watched a lot. It was like a year and a half where I watched so many. I think I've watched over 200 anime. So if you name one in the comments, I could tell you if I watched it, yes or no, and if I liked it, yes or no. So if you watch anime and you want to tell me what you watched or what's your favorite anime, let me know. I could give you my top 3. It's kind of hard to make a top 3. So this isn't going to be a specific top 3 order. It's just going to be 3 that I like equally, that I would consider my favorites. Attack on Titan for sure. I remember watching Attack on Titan with no spoilers, and the plot twists were so insane. That show was unpredictable. Hunter x Hunter. I really liked that show. The power scaling, the powers, like everything was really cool. And thirdly, I would say Re:Zero. That one was really interesting because it was different than any other anime I've seen. There are a lot of animes like that follow the same kind of path, but that one was very different. So I did like that one a lot just because it was so different. Anyways, let me know your top 3 in the comments. So yeah, that's been our trip in Thailand so far. We have gone to see a lot of things. We've been out. We've been to Chatuchak Market. We've been to a bunch of night markets. We've eaten a lot of really good food, but we're still here for, a while longer. So we'll see a lot more. So if you do have any recommendations on things to do or things to see or things to eat in Thailand, let me know in the comments. Okay, so now on to the homework. I want you guys to take out your phone, open up your camera app, and record yourself answering my questions and talking about what you just watched. So the questions are, do you prefer warmer weather or colder weather? And also, what is your favorite movie, TV show, or anime of all time? Your number one. Record yourself and describe in as much detail as you can. This will allow you to track your progress much better because now you have an actual video of your current English level. And maybe in 1 or 2 months, you could look back at this video and see how much you've improved. So I do think it's very important to visibly see and hear your progress, and taking a video is the best way to do that. So make sure you guys take a video. And then your third question is just to give me a summary of whatever you remember from this video. What is something that stuck with you? Give me a summary of that point. You will become fluent in English. Bye, guys.